Happy birthday, dear Kyle. Happy birthday to you. Make a wish, Kyle. Don't miss Trump next time.
Jack Black has canceled the rest of the Tenacious D World Tour after his bandmate Kyle Gass sparked an outcry with a controversial remark about the incident involving former President Donald Trump. The comedy rock group was on stage in Sydney when Gass made the comment, which led to immediate backlash. Black, who said he was blindsided by the remark, emphasized that he does not condone hate speech or political violence in any form. Consequently, he has decided to halt the tour and put all future creative plans on hold, expressing gratitude for fans' support and understanding. Gass has since apologized, acknowledging his severe lack of judgment.
You don't make that joke. This is America.
Jack Black is doing some damage control after his Tenacious D bandmate made a joke about the assassination attempt on former President Trump.
Jack Black is going viral for this speech he gave at a Joe Biden fundraiser this past weekend.
A few days ago, my manager called me and said George Clooney and Julia Roberts wanted me to help out the president and speak here tonight, and I said, I am in. When and where? My kick-ass American flag overalls, most patriotic outfit of all times. Because when democracy is at stake, Jack Black answers the call.
Jake Black admitted that he sold his soul to the devil and that he worships Satan. Just take a look at all these clips.
You know, there's a real history of the devil in rock and roll. It goes all the way back to like Elvis was everyone said he's playing the devil's music. What was that great song, The Devil Went Down to Joe? Oh, so, you know, had we sold our soul to the devil? How else can you explain us being here?
Or you can just do what we did and sell your soul to rock and roll. Now look at what we can do.
This is what really turns people off from Hollywood and the movies and these celebrities, is when they speak out and say stuff like this. And this is what I really don't like about these Hollywood lefties, these wokies. They say the most inappropriate things, seemingly at the most inappropriate times, right? And it ends up making them look stupid, okay? It ends up making them look foolish. And so, what's his name? Jack Black, I guess this is his band. I mean, I've never heard a single one of their songs. Apparently there was a movie that they made about this, you know, their band. I didn't watch that either. I've never really been a fan of his anyway. I think I saw maybe one of his movies, Shallow Hal, back in the day. I think he was also in The Cable Guy with Jim Carrey. Those were really the only two movies that I saw him in. I didn't see him in anything else. But apparently his guitarist, so it wasn't him who said this, but he's taking all the heat for this, right? Because his guitarist said on stage, hey, next time, shooter, don't miss. Right? And there are other creators out there and celebrities who have sort of said the same thing recently, ever since Saturday, on their social media. And yeah, it's pretty, I mean, it's not cool based on everything that's going on, right? However, this is what really turns people off from celebrity culture, is they say stuff like this, right? It's like Robert De Niro. I mean, how many of us were Robert De Niro fans back in the day? And then he gets up there on stage and starts, you know, just this word salad of profanity against Trump. And the thing is, you know, just like Jack Black, because in doing this video, I had to watch another, I didn't realize he was such a Biden supporter. I didn't, you know, because I don't follow these guys, but then I saw the video of him speaking at the Biden rally and, you know, calling himself a patriot and all that. I mean, they definitely have a different version of patriot, because my idea of a patriot would not be bigger government, more, you know, more of our freedoms taken away, more masks, more mandates. I don't want that. To me, that's not being patriotic. To me, being patriotic is being true to what our founding fathers wanted for the country, which is freedom. Freedom, real freedom. Okay, individual liberty, which means you don't get to force your ideologies onto me. You don't get to force your masks onto me if I don't want it, or your jabs or anything else, right? I don't have to participate in that, and you can't make me. So we definitely have a different version of freedom, right? Because or patriotism, because he was on there talking about being a patriot, and like, what, dude? The party you're supporting is just kind of analogous to that. So regardless, in whatever political side you're on, I don't really like doing politics. I'm in the middle. I always have to say that. I'm an independent. However, this is what turns people off, right? And now Jack Black has to cancel the entire tour for his his tour dates that he had coming up for his band. I guess they sold out the rest of the tour. They were on some kind of world tour that they sold out, and now they have to cancel the rest of the dates because of this. Because they're getting such backlash, which I'm kind of surprised about too. I'm surprised he is getting that much backlash for this, especially being that it wasn't him who actually said it. It was his guitarist, who has since had to apologize, right? And I mean, that's another thing is, when it comes to these lefties, these wokies, these Hollywood celebs, they put their foot in their mouths a lot. Why? Because they act out of their emotions. And that's the thing I noticed about most people on the left. Everything, they operate from their emotional, basically from their emotions. So of course you're going to be reactive. You're going to get triggered a lot. You're going to say a lot of things that later you might regret, or you might not regret, right? But to other people, it will sound, just unhinged. It will sound like you just don't really, you don't really have much control over your anger, your emotional state, which a lot of them don't. That's, that's the thing I noticed about them. I don't even hear them. You can't hear them because a lot of times they're yelling or they're just screaming profanities, like Robert De Niro when he went on stage at the Golden Globes or Oscars, and instead of giving a speech to thank the Academy, or hey, we're all doing great work, or just thank people in the audience, or even just thank his family, he got up there and spent like 2 minutes bashing Trump, and none of it was like a really good argument. I mean, none of it was. It was all just childish insults, like, oh, he's a pig, he's a dog, he's a punk, oh, if I see him, it was just all that, and it makes you sound like a child, right? Nobody can take you seriously, at least nobody who's actually, not like that, right? People who are, have common sense. It makes them kind of raise an eyebrow at you and go, what's wrong with this guy, right? And then you lose respect. Right, you lose respect. And if you were to tell them that, so what? I don't care. I don't need Trump supporters following my work. Blah blah blah. That's what would probably be his reaction, which makes you even respect him even less, even if you are a fan of his, or even if you are on the left, right? It makes you respect him less because it's like, okay, is that how you conduct yourself? And this is why I would never want to be associated or be part of the left or support any of their ideas. Besides they have terrible policies, they want bigger government and more taxes and, more lockdowns and, just a lot of their policies that, lead to more of a degenerate society, which I don't want to live in, more of an unsafe society, more of an expensive society. You see what's happening now with gas prices, inflation, everything's through the roof. Was this happening 4 years ago? No, right? No, and I didn't vote for either. But I have eyes, I have a wallet, right? I know what I'm spending. And 4 years ago, I was not spending nearly as much as I am now. However, they want to gaslight and tell you, no, it's fine, the economy's booming. No, it's not, man. People are suffering, right? I'm successful, I'm doing well. However, I have a lot of family members who are struggling, and it's like, I can't take care of everybody, and I get upset because these policies are coming from the top. And it's usually coming from them, right? The party of bigger government. So yeah, and a government is in our lives way too much as it is. I always say this. It shocks me that people would want even more government in your life. Like, why? Why? I want less. I don't want them in any part of my life. Okay? So So yeah, so he's getting canceled, and he is now having to walk back the comments of his guitarist. But not only that, but I mean, he's gone on stage, or like, yeah, okay, speaking of like Robert De Niro using his 2-minute speech to bash Trump and just scream profanities, and he didn't even say anything profound during that speech, by the way. It was just all profanities. He made himself just look like a fool, right? He really just made himself look dumb. And Jack Black did sort of the same thing, but not to the Robert De Niro level, where Jack Black was getting his Hollywood star, right? He was getting a star on the Hollywood Boulevard. And sure, he made time to thank his family and dad and people who were there. But, you know, and he could have just left it at that. But he has to ruin that moment at the end by, you know, saying something about Donald Trump, going, Donald Trump's a piece of, you know, shit. You know, it just ruins your speech, right? It just, you know, it's off-putting, you know. And not only that, but like, what if some of your fans that are there support him? You know, I mean, it's just like, this is why I say that when it comes to most leftists, not all, but most, they're just not level-headed, right? They just aren't level-headed, right? When it comes to most people on the right, a lot of them that I find, that I talk to, I mean, they can have conversation, and they don't need to rely on, you know, cursing about it, profanity or anything like that. They could just talk about why, give you some facts, maybe send you some links to some articles, or just cohesively explain why they think what they do. You know, whereas when I talk to leftists, and I grew up in San Francisco, so I mean, I was friends with a lot of them, went to school with them, still know a lot of them. One of them just unfriended me, actually, and I'll tell you why in a second. But when I talk to them about why do you support Biden and everything, you know, because I want to know why people support who and what their ideas are. When I talk to them, most of the time, not all, but again, most of the time, they're not giving me a really profound reason for why they think what they think, outside of, oh, he's Hitler, oh, this is racist, oh, they're misogynist. You know, it's like, that's not gonna sell people. It's definitely not gonna sell me. It's just gonna make me think, okay, you're uninformed, right? I mean, you're just trying to get your little rush of dopamine by calling this guy a bunch of names, and you know, he's not even here to defend himself, you know. So it just makes them look bad. And you know, so this is why people just laugh at Hollywood celebrities these days, and you don't even need them. You have YouTubers. You don't need them, right? So yeah, they're not the only form of entertainment these days, and they fail to realize that. So yeah, regardless, let me know what you think about this dude getting canceled. Also, too, I mean, I'm not even surprised, because Hollywood does a lot of devil worshiping and Satanism, and you know, I lived right over the hill from Hollywood, so you know, I'm not unaware of what goes on there, you know. And I could tell you stories that would probably, you know, scare you about things I've heard, things I've seen that have gone on out there. And it's almost like they're just in a different realm, like a different dimension, you know. So when I see them, you know, like throwing up the devil horns or doing these satanic rituals on stage, whether it's Taylor Swift or a lot of these rappers, or dressing, you know, with horns on, or men dressing in dresses, and I mean, it's if you were to just Google images of hell and then compare it to a lot of the things you see in pop culture and celebrity culture, you'd be like, hey, this is ironically pretty close, right? It's not too much of a difference. So yeah, I mean, and then he jokes about like selling his soul to the devil on this in a few interviews I saw. I mean, that's definitely not something to joke about, you know. But it seems like a lot of Hollywood celebrities like to joke about that stuff. I mean, they're literally doing it right in front of you, whether you have faith or not. You know, it's pretty disturbing, right? It's pretty disturbing. Regardless, guys, drop your comments below and let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one.